Hey, happy Sunday. Come on in the room. Come on in. Come on in. It's Renita Alexander, the Leadership Locksmith. It is Sunday. It happens to be Marathon Sunday here in Chicago. We had the Bank of America Chicago Marathon was today. And I went out there as I am wont to do for the marathon to watch the runners. It's so inspiring. I find myself just rooting for the people who have worked so hard to accomplish that. So that's kind of how I spent my day today. So come on in the room, say hey if you're here live. Just say hello. I'm not seeing, I'm not on my phone today, so I'm just seeing comments on StreamYard. So be sure to let StreamYard know who you are. So just say hello. Give me a wave. Give me a hey. A happy Sunday if you are here live. So happy to have you here. So yes, this is Set It Up Sunday. It's my weekly conversation where I discuss those things that can help set you up for success in whatever way you define success for yourself. And so I've been talking about ways to lead yourself over the last few weeks. And there's several components to leading yourself. And the first component is self-awareness, because we just have to know who we are. And then the self-development is the space or getting from where you are to where you want to be, if where you are is not where you want to be. And of course, that takes a little bit of discipline. And that is what we are going to talk about today, is that discipline component. And I shared today actually in the group a piece around the marathon, because it takes a lot of discipline to be able to do something like that. And how do I know that? Because I actually ran the Chicago Marathon. It was many, many years ago. And actually, it was 20 years ago this year. I spent a year prepping for the Chicago Marathon because I'm not a runner. The only running I really did was as a part of the military. And at the time when I ran the marathon, I think we had stopped running. We were at one point doing a bicycle test to test fitness. I can't remember if we were actually running, but just getting comfortable running was something I had to do, running long distances. So I actually, even before I started a program, I just ran. I started running so I could just go out and run 3 or 5 miles without really even thinking about it. So that was not something I had done. I was in Illinois. I was in Southern Illinois at Scott Air Force Base. I remember having to deploy a couple of times and just having to be really vigilant about making sure that I got my runs in, because, that is what it takes. I want to, just talk about what are the components of being disciplined. So the runners were very inspirational to me today, because obviously there are things that they have to do to get themselves ready to run 26.2 miles. It requires a lot of discipline. And the components of that there are 4 components that I've been talking about. So I want to share those with you today. And so the 4 factors, the first one is commitment. And so whatever it is that you are, trying to do, that commitment, that goal, that vision, that purpose, you want to be committed to. You want to be committed to it regardless of whatever obstacles and challenges that you may face, because they are going to be some things that you may have to face when you have a vision or a project or a goal or a purpose. It's just not always going to be smooth sailing. And so any major achievement requires, a commitment to stay the course. And so, again, we saw the marathoners today on course, making sure they were putting one foot in front of the other, to be on point and to finish, because the goal was to finish. And I know a lot of them had times that they were perhaps trying to meet. I know I did. And, sometimes that doesn't work out. But the ultimate goal was for me was to say that I had run a marathon, to check that off my bucket list. And so, whatever that is, whatever that goal is, that vision that you have, it requires you to be committed to it. And I just want to say one other thing about commitment is, sometimes, we see, I've heard people, kind of describe commitment, like for instance, to a person or to a profession or to a project as, somehow taking control away from them. But in fact, commitment actually gives you some control, because you have something that you're working toward. And so it gives you the impetus, it gives you, it can help you actually get to, where it is that you are trying to go by having that commitment towards something. And so, because one of the things that it helps you do is focus, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. Before we get to focus, I want to talk about the second component of discipline, and that is planning. So there is something about having a plan. Either, I have plans in my journals. I also have plans on the computer. I use different programs. I have plans on my phone. My calendar is a big plan. There's something about writing it down that gives a plan some clarity. It helps you, determining the steps that you need to take to get to that goal or that vision that you have absolutely gives you some consistency. It helps you be more accountable to getting to that, writing out the steps, and then understand. Sometimes, we get overwhelmed by our vision or our purpose because it seems so big. But, absolutely identifying the steps, the small steps that are going to help you get to where it is that you're going, can help sort of release some of that anxiety that you may have about, your big vision, when you can, break it down into small, achievable, measurable goals and steps. It just helps you see that thing as something that is doable for you. As I said, I was not a runner when I first was invited to participate in the Chicago Marathon. And so I found a program online that would help me get to that 26.2 miles. And I followed. And as I mentioned, I was already had been running just to get myself ready for that. So I followed that plan. I kind of hit it. Yeah, I didn't follow it right at the beginning because I had already been running. So, but I kind of modified it to meet me sort of where I was. And I followed that plan. I had short days, I had long days, I had rest days. And on my long days, I might go, get a massage or something. So, but I followed it, pretty judiciously. I learned some equipment things that I needed to have to sort of help me be a better runner. I asked questions of people who had that expertise. But at the end of the day, my plan really just gave me confidence that I could, meet this goal that I had established for myself. And so a plan can do that for you. And a plan also can help you focus. So I mentioned focus earlier, but when you have that plan, it can just really help you stay on task. It kind of helps you focus on what is supposed to be happening, which can also help you eliminate any distractions, anything that is distracting you from where it is that you are trying to get to, so that you can execute what needs to be executed in the present. So one of the examples, again, that I use in myself as a example of somebody who had a plan that helped me focus. I knew what I was supposed to be doing on every day. I knew what I needed to do, and it helped me, eliminate some distractions. I do remember one time where I was distracted. I was invited to go out one evening, and it was the day before a long run. I was like, okay, I can do it. And I allowed myself to stay out a little bit later. I slept in and then ended up running my long run sort of in the middle of the day instead of the beginning of the day, and got pretty badly sunburned. I remember, brown coming off of my shirt, and it was my skin. It's like, oh, this is not good. But I did learn that I needed to get some different shirts to run in. So that was a lesson also that I learned. But again, that focus can help you focus on what it is that you want to do, and then say no to the things that are distracting you from where you're trying to go. So that focus is really required to have discipline. And then the last thing that I want to share is around resilience, because when we're focused on something, when we're committed to a purpose, when we have made plans to achieve something, some goal that we're trying to achieve, there are going to be setbacks. As I said earlier, there are going to be obstacles, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be things that don't go exactly the way we want them to go. And so when that happens, to stay on point, we have to have some resilience. And, again, resilience is that ability to overcome those challenges, that ability to not focus on the thing that you didn't want to happen that has happened, but to stay in the present and, kind of shake that off. I'm always amazed by athletes who can do that. I mean, you see, especially the ones that are kind of performing by themselves, like the tennis players, or somebody that is not as a part of a team, how they can just shake off something that doesn't go well, or a mistake that they make, and stay in the present and go forward, and respond well to whatever is happening in the present moment. And so that ability to do that is resilience, and it's what we all need to get where it is that we want to go. So, 4 factors that kind of help fuel discipline. They are having a commitment, planning to achieve the steps, or to take the steps that you need to get where it is you're trying to go, staying focused, and then having resilience to bounce back when things don't necessarily go the way that you want them to go. And so that's what I think discipline is. Who has something that they want to share? Let's see. Angela, how are you? It's so good to see you. Thanks for joining me. I'm just excited to have you. I'm not sure who else is here. I normally pull my phone on and have that ready to go so I can see in case anybody's identifying or saying anything that I wouldn't normally see. I can usually see a little bit more on my phone, but I can't. But I was on the phone right up until I went live, so it's like, okay, I'll get it next time. But I'm so happy to have you here. So happy to. Angela is my birthday twin. So, anybody want to share what you do to be disciplined? Please share those in the comments. There's always a delay. Thank you. Thanks, Angela. I'm pretty disciplined. It's I don't know if I was always disciplined. I don't know if it's a part of being in the military that has helped me be more disciplined. But I'm a big proponent for fitness, and I'm actually a certified group fitness instructor as well as a personal trainer. And part of that is not just working out, but it's kind of what I eat and all of that. And so I'm pretty good about doing the things that the experts say that need to be done. So yeah, I mean, I think sometimes it's helpful to sort of think of that ultimate goal, right? I mean, you want to be around for your grandkids. You want to provide an example to your children of how you can be healthy well into later in life. There's a freedom, I think, that comes when you are older. But a lot of us, I won't share my age, but let's just say I'm a seasoned woman. And so, so much of what we want to do, we aren't able to do because of physical limitations. And so, just being able to do the things that we want to do, and and being disciplined about whatever that is. And if it's a goal that you're trying to reach, a business that you're trying to launch, what are, there's success leaves clues. There's people out there that have done the things that you want to do. So just finding those people and maybe following their path or modifying it in accordance with what works for you. But yeah, just having that commitment, and having that plan that identifies the steps that you need to do what you need to do. I think just is less intimidating when you have that. You don't get overwhelmed by this, maybe big vision that you have. So, but yeah, thank you so much for being here. If nobody else has any comments, if you do join us later, please feel free to jump in and offer any tips that you can help the members of Leadership Unlocked. If you can help us all be a little bit more disciplined, if you have any ideas that you can contribute, please do so. I do want to mention one thing while I'm on here. So I'm a part of a group called Moxie Women we're having our first conference on October 30th. It's going to be amazing. There's a live component. There's less than 10 tickets left for the live component. So if you're in Chicago land area, it's going to be at the brand new Moxie co-working space. It's a Black owned co-working space in South Michigan, the only one. And so if you're interested in participating in the Moxie Women, you just check out the page. There's some registration information on the page. And actually, I should probably save it as an announcement too. I'll do that tonight so you can find it easily. But there's also a virtual component. So you don't have to be in Chicagoland to participate. There's a virtual component. We have some dynamic Black and brown speakers, women entrepreneurs who are making their mark on the world, have an international reach. And so I think it's going to be awesome. And they've already inspired me in the conversations that I've had with them. And so I think it's going to be really inspiring. And so, come watch us virtually, invite the people that, your peers, invite people that you mentor. I think it's going to be off the chain. All right, so it's almost 8:20, so I am going to jump off of the call. I'll be right back here next Sunday for Set It Up Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening.